Hello and welcome to another edition of The Nation. I'm Jared Ratnam, and today is the second day of the GST, or since the implementation of the GST, and there's been a lot of talk about the GST on social media, on conventional media. Anywhere you go, everyone's talking about GST. Well, we're going to try to bring you bits and pieces of different areas with regards to the GST, and today we want to feature the hotel industry. Well, speaking of the hotel industry, many hotels had to prepare for the implementation of the GST on the 1st of April, and it apparently took a lot of work, and we're going to find out just how much work it is for a hotel in order to change their system. But before that, we've got two guests today. We'll be speaking to Terry J, who's the Macau manager of Grand Seasons Hotel. For now, let's speak to Michelle Chung, who's the director of sales and marketing. She's joining us right here at The Nation to give us an insight as to what it is to run a hotel, more so sales and marketing. Michelle, a very good day to you, and thank you very much for joining us, Michelle.
You're most welcome. Thank you for having me.
Well, there's so much for us to understand with regards to the hotel industry,
right,
and the hotel facilities that most of us use within the federal capital and also within Malaysia. A lot of us like to holiday with our family within Malaysia, and we like to go to hotels. And with the implementation of the GST, there's been a lot of talk as to prices, the rising costs and rising prices within hotel services. And is there any truth to that?
Right. For the hotel industry, this is basically GST as what we know as a normal person, that everything goes on the 6%.
Right.
So that is definitely no doubt as well in the hotel industries. Okay. But apart of that, others are basically the same pricing as what you have enjoyed or paying the last time in any of the hotels or resorts that you use.
So, no, it's an exaggeration if we say that it's astronomically high. All prices are going to know.
Yes, I wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So it's going to remain the same, maybe a little higher than before.
A very slight, slight hike of it.
Right,
yeah.
right. But your work or your function in this hotel is as the Director of Sales and Marketing.
That's correct.
Yeah, and as the Director of Sales and Marketing, can you walk us through your day-to-day, what do you call that, functions or your job scope?
Right, okay. Basically, of course, the sales division is a revenue generating division. Right. Okay, so it's very important. My functions would be basically very much involved with my team of sales associates. Okay, so as a very casual start off is that every morning we catch up. Okay, I catch up with my team of people, and I will also give them a very quick updates of the current revenues of the hotel, and then maybe some short outlook of how the industry or hotel doing for the next coming 3 months.
Right, so if revenues are not good, everyone gets a good telling off in the morning.
That's a part of our duty anyway. Okay, so I do also have associates who specializes in a few fields, I would say. For example, that associates who actually very prone to the corporate bodies,
right,
some who are very into the government bodies, and also somebody who are very good with the leisure division.
Right.
All right. So we will share in the morning of what is the progress, how is their trip resources at the end of the day, any challenges that they face that they would need some advice and all that. So at the same time, I will give recommendation. I will give advice and also solutions to the
Right, so this happens every day?
Yeah, it happens every morning.
Right, so every morning you come up with the numbers as to what the sales was like the day before, and then you go through a small powwow as to what can be done to better today's sales.
Yes.
Yeah? And does it change very much on a day-to-day basis?
Not really. The main point objective is always be there, because I need to ensure that my teams are actually on the move in the industry.
With sales and marketing, there's always we always intertwine sales and marketing in this country, and they say sales is sales, marketing is marketing. Can you tell us that difference?
Okay. In a way, they are quite interrelated. Of course, marketing, there's a few other points that how you go about. Are you going to be, very now physically talking about awareness,
right,
in terms of advertising, papers, and even now we are going into mobile apps and things like that. Okay, so it's still interrelated in a way that you're supposed to create awareness to the public, to the general public of how to get to know your property, your hotel, and the product.
Well, as the director of sales and marketing in a hotel,
Yes.
when you employ people to be in your division, what do you look for?
Oh, what do I look for? I look for somebody who's very disciplined.
Yeah.
Okay.
How can you tell if someone is disciplined?
I think in terms of prosecution of certain projects that I would normally need the person to look at. Okay, I mean discipline in a way it could be as simple as punctuality, you know, as simple as just follow up, you know, kind of thing like that.
Right, right.
Right.
And as a director of sales and marketing, what kind of leadership qualities do you need personally to manage or lead your team?
Okay, since I've mentioned the same, of course myself would need to be very disciplined. So prosecution of any projects that I need to do for the hotel, instructed by my general manager. Okay, lead by examples, of course, in many good ways.
Right.
Okay, as well as also shown that I'm also a part of the team player. It's not that just what I say, but you know I have to also walk the talk as
Right.
well.
You
with
need
my
to walk
team.
the talk.
Yeah, true, right? Because I do also go on roads together with my salespeople. Yeah, not just.
Are you cordial with them when you speak to them, or do you do you raise your voice often?
If I need to.
If she needs
If
to.
I need to,
Right.
right.
And you know, with the sales team that you have now, do you need to add people onto the sales team now that the GST has been implemented? Do you need more people within the sales team to go out and do more work? I don't know for what, but you know, people seem to be needing more employees or rather staff within their departments now that the GST has been implemented, or is that another myth?
Oh, I see. Not really. Everything runs the same. Of course, the things that we have really upgraded is actually the system of the hotel that needs to be GST compliance. Okay, it would be definitely taking us a while to really practice because it's just started for like 2 days.
Right.
Okay, so I don't, in terms of salespeople, we don't see any extra that's needed.
Within your department in the past 2 days, have there been any problems?
No, I would say no.
No.
Yeah, we are just coping with the new system that we have and then just look at the changes and adapt to it.
Right. So now that the GST is implemented and things are changing gradually, we hope, there are different things that need to be done by various departments within the hotel.
True.
And one of the things, or rather one of the what do you call it? Things that need to be done at this point by yourself would be to position your property or your hotel. And how do you plan to do that?
All right. The positioning of the hotel has always been, you know, from the beginning itself. Okay. Basically, Grand Seasons Hotel are a 4-star business hotel.
Right.
We have got inventory of 800 rooms and tallest hotel in Malaysia, as certified by the Malaysia Record.
Right.
Okay.
Tallest hotel in Malaysia.
Yes, tallest hotel in Malaysia.
How tall is it?
We have 35 story.
35 stories.
With 800
This
rooms.
is the tallest hotel in Malaysia.
Yes.
And for how long has it been? the
we
tallest
have
hotel?
been maintaining the title since opening of the hotel.
So being the tallest hotel in Malaysia, that's one thing. But I mean, with regards to services, you need to, if you're going to, I mean, position your property, you need to have adequate services. You need to have top-notch services. Is that available at the hotel?
Oh yes, definitely. We are very into our service with the heart. I would
Service
say,
with the heart.
right? We believe in our software, which is of course our people.
Right.
Okay, from the service staff to the salespeople and any division of the hotel. All right. So, in fact, one of our main thing that we have always looked into is quality staff, where there should be adequate trainings on and off. Okay, even from as small as doing languages and grooming, okay, towards to how you work a system as well.
When you say languages, well,
Yes.
you need to be proficient in how many different languages?
Of course, the main language that is normally used.
In a hotel.
Okay, of course, English is
English,
number one.
yeah, okay.
Right, so we need
Ingres
to
for us, yeah, okay.
Ingres, okay. Of course, local language as well, and you know certain dialect. If you really needs to, when it comes to, you face certain guests that you know from any angle of the world.
But we've got seasons in Malaysia when it comes to the
Yes.
hotel industry. There's the biggest season here is the Middle Eastern season, and you need people who are proficient in in Arabic or Middle Eastern languages?
At times, yes. At times, yes. For those who are not so good in the English, from the guest point of view, is that at times they do have translator with them, or of course we'll try our very best to work with that.
Right. I want to talk about that in a short while, but coming back to positioning your hotel, of course you are in the heart of Kuala Lumpur, and being in the heart of Kuala Lumpur, there's a lot of competition. Who are your direct competitors?
I would say that in very general, of course, for a 4-star hotel, we are basically very capped on with other 4-star hotel that's available in the market. Having said that, also we are only looking at more or less on a 2-kilometer radius from our location. Okay, or else, you know, we are really talking about a lot of hotels.
Right, in a 2-kilometer radius. And
yes.
if you look at your hotel, which is the Grand Seasons, and a 2-kilometer radius around the Grand Seasons, there would be a lot of other hotels around it, yeah?
Right, right.
So you have to come up with great offers all the time. And does this happen on a weekly basis or monthly basis? Coming up with good offers for your
offers are actually
clients.
Yes, offers we have normally planned it at least planning of a year ahead. Okay, those things has been done a year ahead, but every now and then on a short term we will still do some revisions on what we have. Let's say, for example, for the Grand Seasons Hotel, we have got packages that actually suits every different needs. Okay, if you are a family, so maybe you would like to look at our family packages, which is good for 2 adults and 2 children that stay in a family suite. If you are a business traveler, you would probably like to look at our Season Crest executive floor, where we have
what floor?
Executive.
Right.
It's an executive floor. Is provide personalized service.
It's called the Season Crest.
Yes, it's a Seasons Crest room.
Right.
Executive
And what does
floor.
that room do?
Well, it comes along with a few value added that a businessman needs. Okay, for example, we have a special lounge that is only entitled entrance for these guests of the hotel. You know, you would have a small little snack, coffee, tea the whole day inside. A good place to meet also your business associates.
Right. And being a department which goes out and does marketing and sales, the most important thing is support from other departments within the hotel.
True.
Right now, so how do you get support, or which departments do you look at for support in what you do?
Support.
As in, you're marketing and sales.
Okay.
You're marketing and sales, and you've got various departments within the hotel.
Yes.
So, being marketing and sales, you need to have great service too. I mean, you can sell as much as you want, but if the service isn't great, it's not going to help you with your sales and your marketing and of course your promotions. So which departments do you liaise with most of the time in order to better the service within the hotel?
Okay. All of the departments are of course important.
That was a long question.
All are important. We have to really work together. Of course, the more direct liaison that we have would be like with our front desk people. These are the people who meets and greet the guests when they comes to the hotel. Right. That would be the frontliner. The
frontliners.
Yes.
So you always deal with the frontliners.
Correct.
You don't deal with management and when you talk about the frontliners, you talk about the management team within the frontliners, or do you speak to the frontliners all the time?
Would be the manager who's in charge of the frontliners.
Right. And usually, what would be the biggest problem with regards to the frontliners?
Well, the frontliners, we have to really give them a very good outlook. What are the expectation of the guests? All right, how should they actually attend to the guests on the first impression?
Right. And when a guest comes to you, do the guests come to you and complain to you if there's something that's not right, or if there's a service that they're not happy with?
Of course, there's always been comment
to
or
marketing
feedback.
And sales.
Yes. We always welcome comments anyway. So this is how we are supposed to improve at the end of the day. Right. So we will take the feedback. very positively, and we know where to touch on from there. That's why I say that the trainings and the software, this is how we actually gauge it at the end of the day.
Right.
Yes.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll find out more about the Grand Seasons Hotel, especially about marketing and sales in that hotel. And then we're going to talk about the problems and the GST within a hotel, or GST and problems within a hotel, right here at The Nation. Stay with us.
Catch Bernama Today every weekday from 9 a.m. onwards for the latest news, lifestyle stories, interesting personalities, only on Bernama TV.
Hello and welcome back to The Nation. I'm Jared Ratnam, and today we're talking about the hotel industry. We're also talking about the hotel industry and their preparations, or the preparations that have been put together prior to the implementation of the GST. For now, we're speaking to Michelle Chung, who is the Director of Sales and Marketing from the Grand Seasons Hotel in Kuala Lumpur. Well, it's interesting to know that there's a lot of areas that need to be looked at on a daily basis, and it's quite a tiring job. And how long do you spend in a day? I mean, how many hours do you spend at work? They say that hoteliers end up marrying hoteliers simply because only a hotelier understands what a hotelier's job scope is all about, and the problems that come along with it. Is that true?
In a way, yes,
Yeah,
I guess.
or at least that's what I've heard. No, yeah.
All right.
Well, with your job scope and with the work you do on a daily basis, how many hours do you spend at work?
Well, I start off at about 8:30 in the morning, of course meeting up my teams and all that, for the morning briefing.
Right.
Okay, so after I have actually input, whatever that I needed and my team needed from me, then I will also have meeting with my general manager and other head of department, basically to talk about any overview of admin and any other updates of projects.
Right.
Okay. So other than that, for the day itself, of course, things maybe such as market competition research, okay, and some market intelligence. All right, as well as also some key accounts meeting with clients.
Right. With all the experience you've had, and you've got quite a bit of experience. You worked with many hotels before.
A few.
And a few. Okay. And what's important today is a competitive edge. And what do you need as competitive edge in managing a hotel?
All right. Competitive edge in managing a hotel, basically from our point of view, okay, to be a hotel that's reasonably to be considered for certain events. There's certain criteria that we should have in terms of facilities wise. Okay, like for example, now we're talking about managing the Grand Seasons Hotel, which is the inventory of 800 rooms. Okay, the first thing that I would actually look at would be impeccable service from the hotel, okay, to make sure that's ongoing. We service with the heart, and we go very detailed in every needs.
Right. But when you say it's all very general, service with the heart, impeccable service, how do you break it down for your staff? I mean, I get a lot of people telling me that too. You need to your service needs to be impeccable, especially when you're doing what you do, sitting here talking to people. Define it to me. What's impeccable? Put it down for me in steps. Should that be done in a hotel, or do you have to do that in the hotel?
Yeah. We do that in the hotel. Of course, be very detailed. It can be as small as if, let's say, you have.
If you see someone, put your hand on your heart. It's simple.
Okay. Yes. On a manner of this,
Not on your heart,
to be
on your
very
chest or your heart, yeah.
detailed of the needs. As let's say, for example, that a client were to walk into our restaurant to have a meal, all right, and then the person who attends to the guests could be able to pick up some small little things that they always look for, then they would actually really have to go the extra mile to ask, sir, would you like to have this? Would you prefer to have that? Kind of thing like that.
Right.
So that has to be really go on.
So with the
all
recruitment
way.
of staff, and here's another thing. I'm just
Okay.
off the top of my head. These questions come like. You have banquet staff, and most banquet staff are usually part-timers in most hotels. I don't know about your hotel, but from all the hotels that I've visited, or the hotels that I do MC work at, that was a bit of a plug there. Most of them are part-time staff, and you can see in the way they work. They're not fantastic. They get the job done. They're not fantastic. So how do you put out good service in an area like that, say the banquet?
The so-called the part-time staff, in order to ensure that things really goes into details, even if you are part-time staff, you get to actually go through the process way beforehand the events. If we were to identify, yes, it's a very huge function because my ballroom can put up to 1,000 people.
Right.
I have 100 tables in the ballroom,
Right.
Other than having our normal staff, that's, we still need a little bit of them for help. So these are the selected part-timers that used to work for the hotel that we go through the same training as of our permanent staff.
Right.
Okay, to ensure that they really do their job as what we
and
wanted.
while we're here, I've just got a message for all other hoteliers. Please, if you are doing functions, please stop using Kitaro music simply because we use it all the time for food presentation. Please, let's just move on and do something else. We really need to move out from the Japanese Kitaro thing. Okay, coming back to what we're talking about. So, with a 4-star hotel, there are services. You need to have certain amount of services. So, which means you need to have a gym. What's the requirements?
Yes. Well, various outlets to choose from. Okay, for example, that you must have your main coffee house. Coffee house serve international and local cuisine. All right. You should also have a specialty cuisine in the hotel. That would be a great choice. Okay. For example, for us is that yes, we do have a coffee house. We do actually have got the new cafe in the house actually, which is more for the young and chic professionals to have snacks and all that over there. And then you should also have, in terms of health and grooming, I would say it's more on, for the health side would be for fitness center. Fitness center, we at least have got 2 professional trainers actually in the fitness center that even our guests can utilize them. Right. Grooming wise will be more on beauty salon.
Right, you have a beauty salon
Yes.
there. But with all these facilities in place, is there anyone from some association or organization that comes to see if the services are up to mark, to stand up? These services are services for a 4-star hotel. Okay,
definitely this is under the tourism industry. Of course, we have been rating.
They come and rate?
Yes,
The
of course.
tourism industry?
Yes. That's how you actually get your star rating, depending on
the tourism.
services.
Okay, so the tourism ministry gives you a star rating. They are the special body.
Yes, there's a special body that actually goes
Interesting.
through of all the criteria that needed.
Right.
From the inventory, from the services, okay, even from the safety part of it. Okay, you need to be safe in a hotel.
Right.
Kind
And
of way.
what do they know about the safety aspects in a hotel?
Of course, safety aspect, we are talking about food handling, cleanliness, and of course on fire. Okay, that is very important.
And when these people from the Ministry of Tourism come around, are they helpful? Are they?
Yes, there's criteria that we need to fulfill. All right, so we will actually probably be doing this like every 3 years or every 4 years, it depends.
Well, with your hotel has got 800 rooms. Okay,
Yes.
so it's a huge hotel. But there's a trend in KL. Boutique hotels are coming up everywhere, and they're offering great services too. And what steps are you taking now? In view of what's happening within Kuala Lumpur, at least, with all these boutique hotels coming up, to make your hotel as competitive as, or rather, to keep your competitiveness up there.
Okay. For our side, it would be mainly, of course, product itself is product, Of course, the upgrading and facelift is definitely a need, okay, to be on par with the current new hotels that are coming. We are actually going through some facelift at the hotel at this point of time. We have just recently changed our logos, okay, that you can see on my cards and all that. And we also doing some painting at the hotel facade, all right. New cafes and new facilities.
Sprucing up the hotel.
Yes. Well, 800 rooms hotel, the rooms are still in order, and we really need to start to look into that as well. Although, like what you say, that I have impeccable service on my staff, so probably not only that's enough. Okay, that's why this year for us in Grand Season Hotel, we are looking at that every on stages wise. Yeah.
Just one question before we take a break and bring Terry in.
Okay.
In a hotel, okay, most of us want a great service in a hotel, but apparently there have been complaints about Malaysians who use hotels, and most of us, I'm not generalizing, please, I don't want to generalize here. Most of us who use hotels, we wreck the hotel rooms. When you look at your hotel rooms after a long stay by Malaysians, are there a lot of complaints by your staff? Be honest
I would
with
say
us, we're talking to each other.
As
we are family,
Malaysian, we are still very good.
We're good.
We are good.
We're good. Yeah.
I think we are good. Yes.
I mean,
yes.
For me, I must confess here that I'm a bit of a monkey. I get into a hotel room, I get excited for some reason. I play all the switches, check the TV, run the faucets.
Okay. That's normal. I mean, it's still very manageable.
Right, that's
I would
manageable.
say for Malaysian, yes,
right.
yes.
We've got people who are worse than us.
Yes, there are people that are worse than Malaysian. I have to say that, but I can't tell you.
So we won't give out the nationalities.
Right,
we won't
right.
alert the embassies that needs
so
to be
all the
alerted.
guests of the hotel is our guest.
Right. So I mean, when you put up signs like let's go green and let's save water and don't change towels all the time. Are people actually picking up on these messages?
I would believe yes.
Yes?
It does. It does really. Right. Yeah. We can see guests that react in a different way.
Well, before I let you go, your message to Malaysia with regards to staying in a hotel, about the hotel services or the hotel industry, and also the GST perhaps.
Okay, all right. GST, like what I've mentioned or shared with you earlier, is that there's not much of differences in terms of pricing, absolutely, for the hotel itself. So not only for Grand Season hotels, of course, all along it should be the same. And keep on traveling.
Keep on traveling.
Keep on moving.
Travel the country. There's a lot to be done in this country. You can visit so many places. Hotels are affordable. Make use of these facilities.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We just spoke to Michelle Chiang, who is the Director of Sales and Marketing from the Grand Seasons Hotel. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Terry J. He's not a rapper. He's the Marcom manager from the Grand Seasons Hotel. Stay with us right here at The Nation. I'm Jared Ratnam.
Halo, apa kabar pemirsa? Salam dari Jakarta. Sebuah program kerjasama Kantor Berita Indonesia Antara dengan Kantor Berita Malaysia bernama kembali hadir menjumpai Anda.
Batasan masa, mengupas isu semasa, jadi saluran pelbagai suara, segalanya baru dan benar di Berita Bernama TV.
Bantuan Rakyat Satu Malaysia BRIM 2015 diteruskan dengan peningkatan bayaran kepada penerima yang layak.
Daripada RM650 kepada RM950. Untuk isi rumah berpendapatan bulanan RM3,000 ke bawah. RM450 kepada RM750. Bagi isi rumah berpendapatan bulanan antara RM3,000 hingga RM4,000, bantuan ini akan dibayar sebanyak 3 kali setahun, Januari dan Mei, manakala bakinya akan dibayar mulai September 2015. Bagi kategori individu bujang dan pendapatan tidak melebihi RM2,000 sebulan, kerajaan akan meningkatkan nilai BRIM daripada RM300 kepada RM350. Skim Khairat Kematian. Skim ini akan beri manfaat kepada waris penerima BRIM dengan bantuan RM1,000 yang akan berbuat kuasa selama setahun.
BRIM memberi manfaat kepada rakyat.
Hello Malaysia and welcome back to The Nation. We're talking a little bit about hotels and the GST. Joining me in the studio is Terry J. He's in charge of Marcom at the Grand Seasons Hotel, and he's joining us today to walk us through the implementation of the GST in hotels. Terry, thank you very much for joining us today.
Oh, you're most welcome, Mr. Jeremy. We're honored here to be with you today.
You're honored, so am I.
Yes.
So am I. Well, the GST, has it been a lot of work?
The implementation process has been quite tiring, to be honest with you, because we started something like 6 months ahead, because there were so many criteria to look into.
Right.
Because we are talking about, key people like the rooms, the F&B, the general promotion of the hotel. Now, every section, every area, we have to look at how GST is going to affect this particular section and this particular. And, everybody will think, okay, hotel is F&B and rooms and everything. The main people who are going through a very tiresome process is the finance department.
The finance department.
I wish my director of finance was here to talk to
you don't
the
envy
viewers.
You don't envy his work. Yeah.
Pardon? I don't envy his work. I think most of the hoteliers who are talking, they are talking about each individual of themselves and what they are doing. But I think the main person actually is the financial controller, because he has to go to ensure that the whole system is in operation and everything is going smoothly. If not, his head is on the chopping block.
So basically, if you have a financial controller within your organization, you will now know that if he or she is good at doing what they do. Yeah?
Yes.
This would be the litmus test for financial controllers, the implementation of the GST.
Yes. Okay. Now, the second department that I would like to highlight is the HR department.
Right.
Because when in this kind of situation, they are the people who are responsible on the training aspects of the staff, or the associates have to be trained. So where they come into their scenario will be, of course, getting the speakers.
Right.
And in this case, we got the hotel got outside speakers to come and speak and educate the management staff. And it was a 2-day session, and Mr. Gerald is not cheap.
Right.
We spent about 7,000 for 2 days on the training.
But all the training, spending the amount of money, 7,000 for 2 days of GST training.
Yeah.
Did you gain any insights and knowledge from this? Did you understand everything?
Can I put this across to you? Actually, this is like mandatory.
This is mandatory.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not.
You
yeah.
like it or not, you have to get someone. You have got to get the person who's a professional.
Right.
And he has got to put the whole hotel, it's like a captain steering a ship. He has got to put us all in the right track.
Right.
So it is mandatory. We need it. We have to get it done. Anyway, the outside consultant who came, who did a very good job. He did train us. And basically, we cannot afford to train 300 of staff. But what we can do is, after the heads of department have been trained, then you have to train your respective departments. So if you've got, say you're in marketing, or if you're in F&B and all, and if you've got 20 staff, 30 staff under you, then you got to train them. You got to tell them this is. So if you yourself do not have a good understanding, how are you going to train your staff?
Right.
So that was a very big challenge for us in the industry. And the biggest thing will be how your associates are going to interact with the guests, how they're going to explain to the guests about the implementation and all. Because,
but no, all this is going to happen for all of, say, the first 2 months, after the implementation of the GST. Because last night I went to a restaurant after work. I just went and sat in a restaurant and wanted to get something to eat. And everyone's looking at the receipt like they've got 15 years experience in of course, economics and accountancy. Like everyone's doing that. This is only going to happen for the next 2 months. But having said that, I've been listening to a lot of radio stations and what they have to say about the GST. And one that stands out the most is, of course, news channels. Bernama Radio 24 has been carrying a lot of stories on the GST. And then you've got, I've heard the morning show on BFM yesterday, and they were saying, oh, it's so hard to understand this whole GST thing, and but is it really that hard to understand?
No, it's not. It's not. Okay, before I proceed further, there's a good point that you highlighted, that everybody is adjusting their glasses
too far
and they're looking at the bill. Now, this is a very important question which I want to answer to you first. Is, okay, a few things that you have to look out for if you're a customer, and it's your right. Firstly, is the organization GST registered?
Right.
If I go and eat in a place, okay, and I'm going to pay taxes and all, are they registered firstly? And if they're registered, in your receipt, if you check, they are supposed to have a registration number. Okay, so it's good for the viewers to know that, don't be misled. If you go there, okay, fine. If I'm going to a hotel or a proper outlet to eat, okay, fine. If you want to charge me GST.
But here's the flip side to that. Okay, if you're not registered, everyone should be registered by now.
Everyone should be registered by now.
If you're not registered, that means you're not a legal business. You're not legitimate.
You're legitimate. That is important. And then 2 is the company registration number has to be there. Your registered number and your company number and the summary of the taxes. It all has to be in the receipt, because that is the requirement. It has to be there. So if your person goes and if he is being charged, and you got the right to ask, Terry, look, I came to your hotel, I had my lunch, but I don't see your GST registration number, your company number, nothing in the receipt. So why am I paying for this? You got every right to ask as a customer. So that is why we don't want our staff to be startled, Oh my God, what is this guy asking me? All these questions, but my boss didn't update me. We don't want to have that. So that is why we have given very intensive training to the staff. Whatever Q&As that are asked, even if the staff is of a lower ranking and is unable to, the supervisor is called up to come up front and say, okay, sir, can I explain to you? This is how it works.
Okay, so you've gone through the training. Now let's take a look at the implementation, or rather the pros and cons of the implementation of the GST.
Okay, when you talk about pros, of course, for all the viewers out there, they'll be very happy to see that the service charge thing is missing. It's no more there, and we have very clearly mentioned is the GST that they have to pay.
So you're talking about the sales and service tax that used to be there, which has been taken off and replaced by the GST.
So what some hotels in the industry have done is they have given a net rate. Whatever costs you have, okay.
Speak to me like you're speaking to a 2-year-old, because I'm not good at math.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, okay, if I'm going to put there $50, Gerard only wants to see $50. That's it, and plus the government tax,
which is 6%.
GST. That's it. you don't want to see anything else. So what the hotel industry has to do, sorry to say, all the documents, all the collaterals that we have printed so far has to be changed progressively, because a customer, if you show him, this is my menu with this, he tell, look, with the new GST, I'm not supposed to see all this.
Right.
Why is all this
So
here?
on the menu is stated there that what?
Net.
All net.
Everything is net.
No,
So it's
subject to
$50.
6% GST or
No,
nothing.
it's mentioned below. So you say, okay, now you come for a high tea, and you're going to pay $50 for your high tea.
Right.
Right at the below, of course, you're subjected to the GST tax of 6%. So it's $50 plus the 6%. That's it. That is what the customer wants
So
to
if you're
see.
paying 10 ringgit for your high tea, which with the 6%, it's 10 ringgit 60.
60 cents.
That's it.
That's
yeah.
it. So it has to be very clear cut, because we don't want to confuse our guests. And also we don't want to have a lot of queries, and the staff, sometimes when they explain, and then the guy says, look, I don't understand. So we are making it very clear. But financially, the cost is going to be very high, because our menus, whatever we have printed so far, we have to compile and we have to come up with the latest item. Of course, the printers are going to make quite a big buck, but we have to get it done. We have to get it done.
So prior to the implementation of the GST,
Yes.
let's talk about the procedure your hotel went through. Okay, you had to train staff. You paid 7,000 ringgit for 2-day training.
Yes. Okay. What I wanted to tell you, for us in our particular hotel, because the system could not accept the GST, the implementation into the system for the charges and the breakdown and everything. So what we had to do is we had to come up with a new system, and we introduced the eHorse system. And
The what system?
it's called the eHorse system.
Okay,
It's
so,
a
yeah.
web-based system where you can go online, you can be anywhere in any country, and you can, as long as you have got the authorized number, you can open up, and the system is very good. And before, of course, selecting this particular eHorse, we have consulted other hoteliers, and we have done our research and groundwork, which is the best one. And of course, we have done our homework before we implemented it. And it's not cheap, and Gerard, it costs about over $500,000
$500,000.
Yes, but it's the whole package.
What does that mean for a hotel with 800 rooms, $500,000?
No, what I'm trying to tell you is it is the whole package, right? From with each section that it covers,
Right.
the whole system include the supporting, the checking in, everything, the whole thing. So,
But
they have been
all
with
that
us.
is tax deductible, isn't it?
Pardon?
The money that's been
No,
spent.
this system, you see, you're just lucky, because if the system in your hotel that you have currently can put in this very easily and it can operate, it's fine. That is fine. But if your system, because our system cannot fit into this new additional thing, you have to put the GST, and there's a special breakdown system for of course, that's what do you call it? The backside, not backside, I would say the back of the hotel breakdown, which we need to know. Okay, for that, we have to get it properly organized, So we need this system to be implemented so that we can execute that correctly.
Right.
So you cannot go and charge anybody that, because if your system was fine and if you could put it in, why not? Or you already had yours in your hotel
So
previously.
it's a software that needs to be uploaded into your current system.
It's not the software, it is everything we have to re-input. If you're a F&B site, whatever your prices, your new system, everything has to, the rooms have got the same.
Okay, let's say
Every
F&B.
section
F&B,
has got
okay,
the-
let's say
okay.
coffee.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's just one what do you call that? One of the items within the menu.
Yes.
So when you change that, what do you need to change? What else do you need to change?
Yeah, because actually it's very simply, okay, a latte.
Okay.
Okay, and for you and as an outsider, okay, it's just a cup of coffee.
Right.
What is that? So maybe initially our coffee was $10, and then we used to charge 10%, so $11 plus the previous government tax of 6% and all, right? So it comes to about $11.60.
Right.
So now what we have got to do is, okay, we have to come for a net price. So the coffee it can be $11, $12, $10, whatever, but it's a net coffee. Okay, this is my coffee price, like I told you just now, and this is the GST government.
Technically, things should be cheaper. right? I mean, technically, okay. So if a coffee is 10 ringgit, and if you were paying a government tax or sales and service tax of 10% and another 6 back then, we used to pay 10 and 6. Now we only pay 6.
Yes.
So it used to be 11.60. Technically, it should be cheaper, but I think there's some hidden costs in there which we're not going to discuss. We will let that brew in your mind for a while, and we'll get an expert to talk about that at a later stage. Well, now the training process or getting people ready for or GST ready, you get the top management ready, getting the staff ready. How is that?
Okay, basically educating them and training them. It's a long process because we have got so many departments, so many sections. So it is teamwork. Basically, if team A has got, imagine your department has got, for example, kitchen can be like 60 to 70 people, chefs and everybody, you know. So it's a breakdown also. They have to key in the whole thing into the system, you know, what recipes, what menus they have, you know. All that has to be re-inputted into the new system with the new prices. Whatever cost that, you know, we want to put in has to be put in and has to be approved by the various departments, financial controller, and, you know, we've got revenue department. We have also got finance. So everybody has, it's a great teamwork, you know. And of course, the key people are purchasing. You know, I'm going to buy coffee from you, I'm going to buy milk from him, I'm going to buy. So the purchasing
so buying coffee from me, milk from him is all subject to 6%, 6%
depends, because you see certain items
tax or GST exempt.
So this is the way the general public gets a little bit confused because they don't know. Okay, if they read the papers constantly, then they know this hasn't got, and you know. But I like to share something with you. I just went to a regular teh tarik stall, and normally the tea is only 120 and the coffee is 120, kopi tarik and teh tarik. So as a purpose, when I went there, I didn't want to say anything because I've been going there for the past 3 years. And the auntie very casually told me, "Today the price gone up, sir. It's $1.40, gone up by 20 cents."
20 cents.
Then I asked her, "Why, auntie?" I pretended like, you know, I was an innocent person. And then she said, no, because now April 1st, you know, prices all gone up.
Everything's gone up.
Everything gone up. So auntie got no choice, you know, I have to charge you 20 cents extra. And I was like, hello, are you GST registered? All that was flashing in my mind.
We'll come back and talk about this in a short while. Stay with us. We'll take a short break. My studio director is already asking for that break. We'll come back and talk a little bit more about the GST and what it is like for people within the hotel industry. Stay with us right here at The Nation.
latest headlines, illuminating visuals. Everything right and now on Bernama News.
Thank you very much for staying with us right here at The Nation. We're talking about the hotel industry and the GST. Of course, we digressed a while ago and talked a little about the mamak shops. Everyone's talking about mamak shops in Malaysia, you know, and also when we say mamak shops, we mean our normal coffee shops.
Our normal coffee shops.
Not
we
the
go to have a teh tarik, our coffee, our
Mamak Shop
chana,
Association will put a
that.
bounty out on me. I just don't want that to happen. Well, there's a hotline that you can get in touch with if you need any clarification or information or anything you need to know about the GST. Call 1300 888 500. Let me say it like Patrick here. 1300 888 500. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. 5 days a week. Saturday and Sunday they don't work. Okay, so let's go back to what we're talking about, the GST and hotels.
Yes.
Hotel collaterals, was it a requirement for the hotel collaterals and the documentation within hotels to be reprinted?
Yes, it's very vital because if you don't do that, then whatever reading materials that we are putting in our documentation, even in our rooms, our newsletters that we sent out. In fact, we had our last batch of newsletter printed, and actually as of 1st of April, I can't use so much of it because we have got to print out with the new ones, you see. So that is a very big challenge for us, and there's a lot of cost involved also because we've got to redo the whole thing. But the biggest one right now we are focusing is our menu.
The menu.
Because yes, when a customer comes to, this is your menu, and the first thing he's going to check is that.
That has to be crystal clear for
very
the
clear.
customer.
So what we're doing right now is we are working 7-Eleven.
But if you have a mamak shop, you don't have to be. Just 120 to 140 or 160, it doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
We'll work it out somehow. Yeah.
So the pricing has to be worked out. Graphic is working 7-Eleven on it. Printers are working 7-Eleven on it.
Right.
Because we want it out as soon as possible, if possible yesterday.
Well, the hotel guests, are they clear as to what's happening?
Of course, there will be 50% of the people who come, who are guests, who are very familiar, and they read the papers, they update themselves, they know what is going on. So when they come, okay, fine, they seem to know everything. But then we have the other 50% who's in the dark. So they are the ones who want to know about this, about that. That is why, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of training, a lot of guidance for the staff has to be given. So make sure that everyone informs the guests the similar thing. That is another problem, you know. I can train 10 people, but the way they convey the message to the guests, each individual has got his or her style. And sometimes, even though we tell them this is how you're supposed to say, out of 10, maybe 7 might follow what you have said, you know, but the other 3 might, you know. So we got to keep on reminding them, this is it, this is what you're supposed to say.
But I mean, for hotel staff or hotel employees, I mean, if I were to work or I am to work in a hotel too, it'll take a while for me to, you know, get used to these things. And it's a system, there's math involved in it. You know, some of us are not good at math. Probably it'll take a longer time for us to understand these things.
Because you must also realize that the staff, you know, some are very affluent in English, you know, some are very affluent in Bahasa. So, in fact, the HR department has given very intensive training on English, teaching them how to speak clearly to the guests.
That should happen in school, though.
You know, so when they come out to work, you know, some of them will find they're good, you know, but that is one important criteria that I think every hotel should look into. Because when they're dealing and speaking with guests, language is so important. You know, of course, local guests, fine, it's not an issue. They all can speak very well in Bahasa. It's the foreigners, and they get very upset when our staff cannot communicate with them properly. Those are the challenges we face on a daily basis. And imagine with a GST, and people can't explain properly.
Well, that's a can of worms to be open on another day. The English language and its ongoing decline.
Ongoing decline, honestly.
Well, before I let you go, Terry, thank you very much for taking time off to be with us. But before I let you go, what's your message to Malaysia about the GST and hotels? What do we need to know very quickly, or in your own words, your message?
Okay. What I want to tell people down there, actually, the GST implementation, as far as a customer, coming to actually, like I explained to you, Gerard, it's a very minimal cost. You're going to pay like a few cents more. That's about it.
Right.
So don't have this phobia, if I'm going to the hotel now, I'm going to pay extra so much. No. It's a very minimal cost, but the way it is interpreted, sometimes people might get the wrong info. So for the viewers who come to the hotel industry, don't be afraid. Ask them what you want. They'll explain to you. We are all well prepared and we are waiting for you. That's my message I can give to all of the viewers out there.
Well, thank you very much, Terry. And don't forget that if you need any information about the GST, call this hotline. It's 1300 888 500. Did that sound like Jeffrey Nicholson at least?
You're excellent.
1300 888 500, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., 5 days a week. That's every weekday. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow with more for you at The Nation. I'm Jared Ratnam signing off. We'd like to thank you too. Terry, thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me the
us.
opportunity, Mr. Gerard, to be present here. I'm very honored, and I feel very honored to be here to convey my message from the hotel industry to the viewers.
Stay with us right here on Bernama TV. We've got news updates coming up shortly.